Ed Lover, what up?
What's up, Mr. Shawn Prez? How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm great. Ed, like this is an interview I was looking forward to. It's a lot of us who worked in this industry, but it's those rare occasions where you have a chance to sit and talk to someone who was really a part of laying down the groundwork for everything that so many millions of people enjoy in hip hop. And you're one of those people. So I'm honored
Thank you,
as I
brother.
sit here.
Thank you. But I'd be remiss if I didn't salute the people that came before me. So, there's a lot of people that came before me. I guess I just happened to come along at the right time. I don't know.
Definitely you came along at the right time and you did a lot for so many people. So, just to sit and hear your story is gonna be my pleasure. Just know that. Ed, a lot of us know you for Queens, coming up in Queens, but you're originally from Brooklyn, is that correct?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Cumberland Hospital, and then we bounced around Brooklyn a lot from I guess from the age of 1 to about 6. We bounced around Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, different parts of Brooklyn that my parents lived in, while they really kind of got themselves together. And then I can remember as a kid, my mom going to night school to get her high school diploma while my dad worked. And, you know, I just remember one day we was packing up a lot of our stuff, man, and we was getting out of Brooklyn and we was going to our own house. Because that was a big thing for us was, actually my parents owning a home because up until then we always lived in apartments. Everything was an apartment. It was an apartment here, it was an apartment there. I remember we had one apartment in like this brownstone building where the actual bathroom was down the hallway from the actual apartment that we had to use. And then we had another one I remember was next to a burnt out building. And that's when my older brother got bit by a rat. I remember that. And it was just like moving from Brooklyn into Queens was a whole totally different atmosphere. It was just a whole different way of life.
How many siblings you have,
I
Ed?
got two older brothers and a younger sister.
Anybody else in hip hop?
No, no,
So you're the only
my
one.
sister used to work at Def Jam. My sister was at the front desk of Def Jam for a lot of years. So a lot of people know my sister as Sonia Knuckles because she was at that front desk of Def Jam for a long time. But my older brothers, no. The brother right before me is a certified public accountant. My oldest brother is a retired New York City police officer. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I'm the only one.
Got you. What part of Queens did y'all move to?
We was in Queens Village, which Clue and Envy are from, and Rockwilder, and they used to dub it Shadyville. I don't know why they started. I guess they wanted to be tough, by calling it Shadyville. But
Mhm.
that's where I came from. That's right next to Hollis, so we kind of claimed Hollis and in between Cambria Heights and Laurelton and Corona. And when you was from Queens, you moved all around Queens. So, that's where I'm from, where LL is from, where Tribe is from, where Run DMC is from, where 50 Cent is from. 50's from the South Side. I'm from the North Side. It's all the same thing.
Before really getting into the game, did you ever used to see any of these guys in the neighborhood
Oh,
or
yeah, oh,
even knowing them?
absolutely. Absolutely. All the time. Because I started out as a DJ. So I knew Jam Master Jay from a group that he was in called Two Fifth Down. I knew Davey D because Davey D has solo sound, and I was in a group called Master Sound. So you saw everybody. If you was rocking in the park, you saw Run and D come in the park and jump on the mic. You saw LL come from Farmer's side of things and jump on the mic. You saw Salt and Pepper and Kid and Play and Herbie come over our side and us going over their side because they had a park jam or a block party. So you saw them all the time, and even after the fame, they were still in the neighborhood. So you get to saw everybody, man. I got to meet Sweet Tea and before she made records and Salt and Pepper and Martin Lawrence and just a little bit about everybody. Eric B. and you knew Eric B. You knew because he was from a different side, more the Corona side, and then he was with Molly for a while. So it was kind of like this thing was just going around and everybody knew everybody, man. And I was in a band too. I didn't mention that. I was in a band too, so
Yeah, talk to me about that because I know before you really was doing the hip hop thing, you was in a funk band,
I was in a
correct?
funk band for a long time, bro. From the time I was like 14 until probably all the way up to MTV. I was in a funk band. The name of the group originally was Oasis 2. That was the name of the group. And then we changed the name of the group from Oasis 2 to the Function Freaks. And then that spun into when everybody kind of started falling by the wayside and doing their own thing and not really believing in what we were trying to do anymore. It kind of just melted down from, at one point, like 11-piece band to 3 of us. And that's how we created No Face. And then No Face came from all of that. And then No Face got the record deal with Rush Associated Labels. And, we just kept moving. Everybody just kept moving all the time. But that funk band happened for a long time, man. Some of the toughest young dudes in that area, we like 14, 15, 13, just playing music, man, and loving funk music. And I split my time between that and my love of hip hop and trying to be an MC at the same time. So
What instrument did you play?
I played trumpet. I played trumpet for a long
Mm,
time.
wow. Wow. So I know when you were really, doing the hip hop thing in the early stage, do you remember your first name that you went by?
Yeah, absolutely. MC Eddie D. Everybody had a D. Everybody had to have a D. Yeah, MC Eddie D, bro. Eddie D and the MC crew. Because I looked up the cats those tapes that used to come around from all over everywhere, man. And I looked up the cats like, you hear Curtis Blow on the tape and the Cold Crush Brothers and the Furious Five. All that stuff came to us via tape before there was even any rap on the record. The first rap I ever heard on the record was Personality Jock by King Tim III. And then not too long after that, Rapper's Delight came out. But everybody had that like there was Woody Wood and there was Sonny Eddie Chiba, and he used to have all the girls going Chiba, Chiba, Chiba. So I was like, yo, I got it. That call and response was everything. I heard DJ Hollywood on tape, and all that call and response was what I was doing as an MC, just mimicking whatever I heard everybody else say, and all the throw your hands up in the air. And then I had my MC crew with my sister, and her girls wore the sweatshirts at MC crew, and I yelled something out, MC crew, what you got for me? They yelled back 2 turntables and a deaf MC. So we was doing stuff like that, man. That was my really beginnings of loving hip hop, and that all came from them tapes that came from Harlem and the Bronx.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody knows you from being the host of Yo MTV Raps. I- Is it true that Ted Demme is an old family friend of yours?
Yeah, I know Ted Demme since high school, bro. Ted
Yeah.
Demme's my connection to Ted Demme is a funny story because Ted Demme went to church, an Episcopalian church. His father was very high in the church. My best friend Kurt Flirt, his mother was very high in the church. So to calm Kurt down when something was happening like a retreat or something like that, she always said, well, bring Ed with you, right? Because I don't want you to be bored. So I would go be with Kurt's family on his Episcopalian religious retreats, and that's where we met this white boy whose father, who named Ted. And that relationship kept on even when we weren't in church things. Ted had his friends in Rockville Center. We were right there in Queens, wasn't too far. If somebody had a car, we can get to Rockville Center, or Ted could get his parents' car, come to us. So what we started doing is all these little competitions between my block and Ted's block. So Ted and them love football. We love football. So we'd pile in my boy car, go to Ted block, play them in football. Ted and them will come our way, and then we play us on our side of town in football. And people are like, what are all these white boys doing around here? I'm like, yo, that's my man in them. Don't worry about it. We got the football game going on. So we did that back and forth all the way through college. When Ted went to college, then they used to have he went to Cortland State. So Cortland State would have these big picnics. Ted used to work in this bar as a bartender and a DJ, and we would drive all the way up to Cortland just to hang out with Ted and his crew. And then after college, Ted got on MTV, created Yo MTV Raps with Peter Doherty. They had Fab Five Freddy.
You get to Yo MTV Raps, which was the first national hip hop show ever in America.
Yeah.
And which is how I got introduced to Fab Five Freddy, where you basically gave the first interviews to damn near every hip hop legend.
Yeah, at that time it was amazing. There was a guy by the name of Peter Doherty and Ted Demme, 2 guys that worked at MTV, were very big into rap, aware of this movement growing, developing, records selling, going gold, platinum with no marketing, no video, no nothing, just on the word of mouth, on the strength of the force of the culture. And they campaigned and lobbied MTV to like do something. And these guys, especially Peter Doherty, they knew that I had made all these connections downtown, was tight with people in the band Blondie. I mean, I'm featured in their video. They shouted me out on that record, Rapture. They said, listen, man, he's the guy. And I was shocked when they called me because it was in 1988 and I had just directed the first music video I did, which was My Philosophy, for an artist by the name of KRS-One. And I made this video as strong and as black as the lyrics and the content of the record demanded, never thinking, people were like, yo, do you think this is gonna be on MTV? I'm like, B, I'm sure this will never be on MTV because I'm putting this thing down in the proper format. And next thing you know, I got this call to host the show. You know, they did a little screen test, they loved it. And on the very first show, I played My Philosophy. And I was like, this is really felt like change is about to come. A change is gonna come. And a change came. And the show had the highest ratings in MTV history right out the box.
I started bugging Ted about being on the show because of my love of hip hop and my knowledge of hip hop. I wanted to do a record review, a movie review, whatever I could do to be a part of Fab's show, I wanted to do it. So when MTV decided they wanted to do a daily show, Fab decided that he didn't want to be on TV every day. Because, you know, Fab's an artsy dude, man. Fab is downtown. Fab is with Basquiat. Fab is doing all kind of directing and all that. He didn't want to be bogged down to a daily show. They had to find somebody. Peter knew Dre. Ted knew me. We both auditioned along with everybody else that auditioned. And Ted had the foresight to see Tall Skinny Ed, Short Fat Dre, Abbott and Costello, put them together for the Daily Show. That was Ted's foresight, Ted and Peter. God rest both their souls.
So you met Dre literally at the audition?
Yeah.
Because he's from Queens as well, correct?
Dre is from Long Island. That's different. Dre's from Westbury. You can get to Brooklyn faster than you can get to Westbury.
Mm-hmm.
So Dre's out there in Long Island. So I knew about Dre because he was on BAU. I knew about him. I never met him. I didn't know anything about him. I knew about him because sometimes we used to listen to BAU. You know, you had the box and you had to move that antenna around, try to get BAU because it's out of college in Long Island. And we could get Dre's operating room and everything else that they was doing and, you know, listening to early stages of Chuck D and Flavor Flav on the radio. Because hip hop wasn't really mainstream on the radio like that. It's when we listened to Stretch and Bobbito the same way and whoever else was on. So I knew who Dre was, I knew about him, but I never met him. I actually met him at the audition for Yo MTV Raps.
Did y'all get along right away?
We got along from the rip. It was natural. We got along from day one, just automatically. Soon as Ted put us both on film together and I vibed off of Dre and we vibed off of each other, I just knew it. I was like, yeah, I could work with this dude, like for real.